Alright guys, this is recapping UFC Fight Night, Paulo Costa versus Marvin Vettori. And wow, what a fight here at 205 light heavyweight. I was not expecting the pace to be as what we saw. It was pretty high paced. I mean, Vettori was laying it on pretty thick in the first round. I don't think Paulo Costa was expecting that. I wasn't expecting that to even happen for the full 5 rounds. And then the power of Costa, I mean, those kicks to the head. I mean, there was one in the second round that landed to the left backside, like left side of Vettori's head, and he took that shot. He took it so well. Anybody else who would have got that shot, I mean, we're talking about 99% of people who would have got hit by that shot, they would have went down or stumbled down. And but Vettori took it, and I could see that Costa wasn't really expecting him to take the full brunt force of his power, but Vettori took it very, very well. So congrats to him getting the win. Lasted the full 5 rounds, so Vettori wins by decision. I think it was a very good call, good decision. I was rooting for Vettori. And yeah, you could see Costa was going in here as the bad guy. He kind of came out as the aggressor before the fight started. I like that, by the way. I mean, he kind of embraced the bad guy role. I'm not saying he wanted to be a bad guy, but he embraced the role nonetheless. And it was a good lead up to the fight. Vettori not liking the weight change. Costa claiming that, well, it was weird. After the fight, there was an interview saying that he said it was his right arm, but he pointed to his left. I'm not sure what's going on there. I'm not sure if he's having camp problems, management issues, or maybe all the above. I'm not sure, but he definitely showed up in shape. I thought his cardio wasn't going to be able to last. It did. His cardio did last. I could see him breathing heavy in the first couple rounds, but I see people like that. For instance, I'm the same way. When I train, I'm breathing heavy in the first 30 minutes, but I'm staying there for two hours at least. But I'm breathing heavy through the whole time. So maybe he's just like that. He just breathes, inhales a lot. I don't know. It's just a theory of mine. But both guys really laid it on. I mean, they were laying devastating shots on each other. Either shot, I mean, especially Vettori, he was laying more volume than Costa, and Costa was landing more powerful shots, and a lot more so to the body for Costa than Vettori. Vettori more so on the head than the body. So guys definitely had their moments in between in the rounds. But Vettori, I mean, he just stuck it through. Tough bastard, man. That dude's tough. So this definitely raises his stock. Because of how Costa fought, before the fight started, I was worried that his stock was going to go down a bit. But I think he's holding it there for a little. I think he's gonna. I don't think it's really fell too low. I think his performance justifies that he's a damn good fighter, and he's definitely a threat to deal with, whether it be at 185 or 205. I was hearing conversations that he should go to 205. Personally, I agree. Costa doesn't agree. He says he can make 185. I was curious to see whether whether he was gonna stay at 205 or be at 185. But in his words, he wants to go back to 185. We'll see how that goes. I wish him all the best. I wish both guys the best. But again, Vettori gets the win here. Not by knockout here. I was kind of hoping that might happen on either end, but he gets the win nonetheless. So, and then going with the prelims here. Man, what can I say? I tried to cover all of them for you guys, and I didn't really get to cover the main card only because of the time. I didn't realize how early it was the next day. But Jonathan Martinez versus Zviad Lazishvili, excuse me, again. It's a hard name to say, so I don't mean any disrespect. But that fight, I was actually hoping that Jonathan Martinez would win. Reason being is because, I mean, the guy, I wasn't sure which weight class he would be acclimated to, but I believe this was bantamweight bout. And lasted the full 3 rounds, no cardio issue on his end, and he basically just picked apart Zviad. Great job for Jonathan. I hope this is his. I hope he's revamped himself. I hope he's at Jonathan Martinez 2.0 now. And he gets the win by decision here, and a great job, unanimous decision over Zviad Lazishvili. Excuse me again. Next fight here, Randa Markos against Lavina Souza. I was planning on her to win by using her persistence, basically pressuring her up against the cage, and she did a few times. And not only that, Markos has some great stand-up against Souza against the cage. She pressured her, and she set up some shots, went for some takedowns, and just grinded that whole fight. Just really grinded it. I like how Souza got her like in a crucifix almost in a way, and was landing some shots, but Markos was able to overcome, and she got the decision win unanimously here. Next here, Jeffrey Molina versus Daniel Lacerda or Daniel De Silva. I don't know why I chose both names here on UFC and also on the UFC Fight Night here. So, but I'm just telling you what it shows here. Jeffrey Molina and Daniel Lacerda. What an amazing fight. Jeffrey Molina lands, he basically just knocks him out. I mean, he was so fatigued. I saw when Daniel was landing that kick, I think it was a left kick, and Molina just lands this nice shot, nice right, straight to the dome, and just basically just drops Daniel, and then just goes for the finish in the second round by TKO. So Jeffrey Molina wins by TKO here in the second round. But I don't think this is the last time we're going to not hear from Daniel Lacerda. I think he's an amazing prospect. Man, I never seen someone. I was hearing that he kicks. He likes to use his kicks and everything too, and that's great. But yeah, he throws an amazing volume of kicks. I'm curious to see how he perfects that moving on. I know he's going to do great in the UFC, but Jeffrey Molina is just a different beast. He's been preparing for this for a long time, so congrats for him getting the win in the second round. Jai Herbert versus Khama Worthy. This was an amazing fight too. I could see the frustration in Jai Herbert just wanting this win. Khama Worthy, I could see a little hesitancy going in. I can see maybe if it was me, if I could be in his body, my guess is probably he was hesitant about the range of Jai Herbert. I thought that Khama Worthy would have to get in close to make this a phone booth fight here in the pocket. But Jai Herbert, managing to get him in the first round here and starts landing some blows here, and he basically gets Khama against the cage and just finishes him off there with a couple blows and wins by the first round. So that was an amazing fight. You could see after the win that Jai Herbert was just, you could see he was just like, man, about time. Like, he didn't have to say it, but I could see it in his face. You could see he was just, like, it's about damn time. So congrats to Jai Herbert and Khama Worthy. Hopefully he can go back to the drawing board and be back sooner than later. I feel like he still has a lot of potential. Both guys, I mean, I think Jai Herbert might be a little older. So maybe you never know what the expiration date on these guys are, but both guys have huge potential here at lightweight. So it's interesting to see how these guys will move forward from here. Jamie Picket versus Laureano Staropoli. Interesting fight. I wanted to stay out of this one a little. I was a little hesitant to get in, only because Staropoli is moving up here to middleweight, and he looked okay. I feel like Jamie Picket didn't capitalize on moments that he should have, especially just how well his body's built, and he also has some range over Staropoli, but he didn't really use it too much. Well, I was a little surprised on that. So I thought it might have maybe went to. I thought it might have been a draw, and it was a good fight. A little bit of a back and forth, but I think Picket was able to land enough shots. Next here, Tabatha Ricci versus Maria Oliveira. Interesting fight. Oliveira was making her debut. It was I did not pick her on any of my lines here. I picked Ricci on a couple. I just didn't think that she would do this good. She came in so good. She came in so motivated and just in good spirits. And she and Oliveira, I mean, in the beginning, these women, were going back and forth here. And in the second and third rounds, Ricci was just able to just start picking her apart. Oliveira was just, you could see her just dwindling a little bit in the second and later rounds. And Ricci was able just to take her down, I think a minimum of 5 times. So minimum of 5 takedowns here. I'm not looking at the stats. I'm just going off what I saw, if not more. Congratulations to Ricci here. She wins by a unanimous decision. An amazing fight by both ladies. And I don't think this is the last time we're going to see Oliveira. I feel that, she just needs to go back to the drawing board again here at strawweight and just, and Ricci, she was just ready. She was game. So I don't think it was anything wrong on Oliveira. I just think that she definitely needs to work on the takedown defense, without a doubt. That's for sure. If she definitely wants to stay in the UFC, I think everybody needs to. If you're in any division, eventually, if you're standing up long enough, you're going to be taken down. You're going to be fighting a wrestler eventually, or a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Next here, to end on the prelims here, we have David Onama and Mason Jones. Wow, this fight was amazing too. I had a lot of hype for David Onama. I did not realize he was coming on such short notice. I thought maybe, for some reason, I thought I read it was a couple weeks, not within a week or 8 weeks notice. And Mason Jones here, a heavy favorite moving in here at a minus 410. Wow, I mean, and David Onama at a plus 310. Mason Jones gets the win by unanimous decision. I'm pretty sure that might surprise people who picked him. If you did pick Mason Jones, especially for his cost and him being the heavy favorite, I'm guessing a lot of you are probably nervous about him winning here, especially the fact that he really couldn't stand up with Onama. He had to basically set up shots. He basically had to set up the takedown with shots, which did land for Mason Jones, but eventually he had to rely on the takedowns. If it was a complete stand-up battle the entire time, and let's just say in a perfect world that Jones didn't know how to do takedowns, Onama would have probably had this in the bag. He stunned Mason Jones a few times. We're talking about more than twice, I think. At least a couple times. And Jones, you got to give it to this guy. He's a dog, man. I mean, he really just grinded it out and just went for those takedowns. And Onama too as well. This is in his weight class. He's not a lightweight fighter. He's back at 145. So it's interesting to see how well he's going to do at 145. I hope he continues to fight at his weight class, because it's not fair on the guy coming off a week's notice. Apparently he was on vacation. And if like any person on vacation, hey, I mean, you're relaxing, man. You're not worried about working out, you know, unless you're doing some recreational activities and such. So you got to give it to Onama. This kid here, I think the spotlight got shined on him. I was a little surprised this fight didn't get any awards of any sort because of just how crazy it was. It was just, and I said it too in my breakdown. I said that I know that Onama is going to land that nice shot. I just see it happening. And it did happen, but I did not plan on Mason Jones just relying on so many takedowns to beat this kid. I mean, both guys here, just amazing fight by both guys. This one's definitely going to be up there in my memory for a while. So I hope to see Onama again. I'm actually high on Onama here. I think Mason Jones is still going to do great in the UFC, but for him being such a heavy favorite, it wasn't easy for him. It wasn't easy for both guys. So congratulations to Jones. I look forward to see how both these guys do here in the UFC continuing forward. Next here, Gregory Rodrigues, the RoboCop here against Jun-Yong Park. I mean, part of me is like, dude, are you a RoboCop? Because you just stood there like a dummy and just kind of took all these shots, and then robotically something kicked in you and you just started hitting him hard again. I mean, that's what it was in the second round for me. Jun-Yong Park was doing a great job on the stand-up. I felt like he was a little bit faster. Let's just put it, he was faster than Rodrigues. And Rodrigues, I mean, his dominance was in the takedown. It was very obvious that his dominance was in the takedown. I'm surprised he won by TKO, though. So, quite an anomaly here. I heard one of the commentators saying, like, could be all those muscles. I mean, I did see him a little fatigued as he was taking shots by Jun-Yong Park. Park was doing a great job in the second round. First round was, he was completely tied up by the takedown by Rodrigues. And good on Rodrigues. I mean, you could say I'm rooting for Park here because I had him on some bets here. But Rodrigues, a great job here. He was a plus 100 underdog here. And Jun-Yong Park was actually a slight favorite at minus 120. So I was a little surprised in the fashion of how it ended, but a good fight nonetheless. I mean, there was a lot of good back and forth fights here. But Gregory wins the win by TKO. Literally just wakes up as he's getting hit on the cage. He's getting hit on the cage by Park. He's probably landed his 9th, 10th shot on Rodrigues, and he just wakes up during the barrage of punches and just lands a hard one on Park and stuns him, puts him back towards the center of the cage, and then Rodrigues just starts coming in like he's RoboCop all of a sudden and just automatically just starts landing on him. And you could see the power difference. Rodrigues is so powerful, but it's like he had to just wake up a little bit and realize that. I was like, oh, hey, I forgot I had power here. I don't know if his plan was to take him down, but great fight nonetheless. Great fight nonetheless. And moving on to the main card here, we got Nicolae Negumereanu against Isaac Villanueva. I hope I pronounced that right. Nicolae, I pretty much thought this would happen. You could tell that Isaac Villanueva was a little bit faster, but I mean, Nicolae he just wasn't gonna have it. I mean, he just held on a little bit and just landed some good shots against Villanueva, and basically it was called in the first round here. Villanueva loses here to Nicolae here in the first round by TKO, by a barrage of punches. I don't necessarily think it was one, but it was more like a barrage of punches. Next here, moving on, Francisco Trinaldo here against Dwight Grant. This one annoyed me a little bit. This was a little bit annoying. If you're like me, yes, I did bet on Dwight Grant. Yes, that's why I'm a little bit annoyed. Dwight Grant was a little bit of a slight favorite at minus 105, and Francisco Trinaldo here at also minus 115. So not really too much of a favorite on each too much of a heavy favorite on each person. It was a split decision for Francisco Trinaldo. All 3 rounds happened here, but man, a little bit of I think, first of all, that eye poke, I think it was an eye poke. I can't remember if it was a low blow. I'm getting that confused with maybe another fight. But it was a slow fight. It was just a little bit of a slow fight. I felt like Dwight Grant could have capitalized on Francisco Trinaldo, but man, you do not count Trinaldo out. There should be he should just get a new brand on his shirt, just say, don't count me out. You just can't count this guy out. He's in his 40s. I mean, this should be an inspiration for everybody in the 40s to at least do like something, you know. Hey, don't age is just a number. That's all I'm saying. But man, I mean, Francisco Trinaldo gets the win here. Part of me is just like, part of these fighters, are you somehow hypnotized when you're in there with this guy? I don't know, maybe does the age somehow make you hesitant from, maybe, I don't know what it is, but it seems like these guys are just not, maybe they respect him a little bit too much, you know, which is okay, I guess, you know, but I just felt like Dwight he missed out on a couple opportunities. He even got Francisco to the ground and was laying a few haymakers, but somehow he stopped and it just went right back back up to stand up like it never existed. And I think that was the only takedown for him. And so really interesting fight, but Francisco gets the win here, and good luck. Congrats to him. And moving on to the next one here, we got Alex Caceres versus Seung-Won Choi. Oh, this was one of my favorite fights. I did not plan on Alex Caceres winning by submission in the second round, especially how damaged he got by Seung-Won Choi. He was bleeding from the mouth pretty good there. He got stunned by a few shots, and I felt like Alex Caceres was going downhill. But in the second round, I saw that Seung-Won Choi was right there, right next to him against the cage, and then Alex Caceres does this nice little spin maneuver and reverses to his back while they're standing up, not in the ground, by the way, while they're standing up, and gets his back and goes right for the choke, and then he basically drops to the ground because, I mean, it seems like Seung-Won Choi is not used to defending a lot of chokes, because not long thereafter, he just tapped right away. I think it was maybe a total of less than 10 seconds, I think. So I was a little surprised that Choi tapped out to that submission there, but great job for Alex Caceres. This was a parlay for me, but Alex Caceres coming in as a plus 225 underdog, and Choi here at a minus 280. So Choi was a little bit of a heavy favorite going in there, but Caceres just showed that, you know, why he does what he does best, and shows how well-rounded he is too, even as a good martial artist. I mean, wins by submission here in the second round. Both guys here put on a good show. It was a great fight. I really did like this fight. I think it did get fight of the night too as well. So congrats on these guys getting bonuses. We'll see how this continues moving on after this. Next here we got Jessica Rose Clark against Jocelyn Edwards. This was a pretty grindy fight as well. Jessica Rose Clark relied heavily on her takedowns, coming from new training camps, new trainers, especially Team Alpha Male as well. I would expect that from any good fighter coming from there as part of their game. I felt like she was a little too reliant on it. There was some times that she did get the takedown, but really wasn't able to do too much on top. And Jocelyn Edwards really just had to basically focus on her takedown defense, which was, I mean, very spotty. I mean, so for other fighters going against other fighters going against Jocelyn Edwards, they could see the takedown as essential as part of their game. I would hope they would do more on top, but Jessica Rose Clark, she did what she needed to get the win. Commentating as well, I heard them say that, you know, in some cases you just need to get the win. It is what you need to do, and she did what she needed to do. Great fight from both ladies here. Grant Dawson and Ricky Glenn. This was, yeah, I mean, I don't know who really, I mean, yeah, I understand that Grant Dawson is on a streak and people are riding high on him, but yeah, I mean, just a flop on the odds. I mean, Grant Dawson was a huge favorite here at minus 300. Ricky Glenn at a plus 235. So if you had a bet on here, congrats to you on Ricky Glenn, because he comes out with, well, it wasn't that. It was a draw, excuse me. I thought that Ricky Glenn was going to win that. It was surprisingly that it was a more majority decision draw. There were some things I saw there. Ricky Glenn landed a nice left kick to the right side of Grant Dawson, and soon after that, he went straight for a takedown. I don't think that's what he wanted to do, but I think that kick landed a lot more effectively than Grant wanted it to. So nice job on Ricky Glenn to establish, his game. Both guys trying to establish their game. Grant Dawson did a good job of takedowns in the beginning of the first round and part of the second, but as we got to the second and the third, Ricky Glenn started to stuff the takedowns and really started to land some good shots on Grant Dawson. And afterwards, it was really interesting because Grant Dawson was so fatigued that Ricky Glenn pointed to Grant Dawson and to the ref saying like, oh, look, he's down, he might be out. So I don't want to say there's controversy there, but obviously he was pointing to Grant Dawson there, and the ref did take notice, and he did get up. I think his cornermen were saying like, hey, get up, it doesn't look good on us. Who knows? Did Grant Dawson actually get that win? Did the last part of that round, when it was over on the third, Ricky Glenn pointing at Grant Dawson, did that actually swift the decision or deter the decision from a win from Grant Dawson to perhaps a draw? So interesting. I think this will be something to talk about. But actually, I mean, good on Ricky Glenn to plead that case at the end of the fight. So really good on him. And then lastly here, guys, of course, Paulo Costa versus Marvin Vettori. Again, just an amazing fight. I was glad I was able to break this down. And congrats to Marvin Vettori for getting that win again. And just a little bit about what I'm doing here, guys. I know coming is a little bit longer than I wanted to make it, but I'm doing this because I've always been a fight fan. I wanted to get in fighting myself. I've been training in mixed martial arts for at least about 10 years of my life, going to different gyms from all around California. I'm a veteran myself. I've been in the military for at least about close to 8 years, and I had an amazing time in there, and I just have this way of wanting to break down fights. I love it. I love the UFC. I love MMA. I love all organizations that have all these amazing fighters, and it's just something I love to do. So if you like this whole breakdown of everything that I'm doing here, please like and subscribe. It really does help support my channel, and it really does mean a lot. It's all free, guys, and I hope to maybe get a Patreon account set up in the future here once I have more content that's more essential for you guys to want to look at, and I can break things down more exclusively for you guys and set that up on that page too as well. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep doing what I love. I love fitness and fighting. I'm actually doing some challenges myself. I partner with First Form Fitness. I'll be getting some resources from them here and participating in a challenge transformation here. So you'll be seeing some posts from me about First Form and referencing them as far as a couple things, supplements, resources that are essential in staying healthy. So especially if you're in the fight game, I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys have sponsors, so it's always great to have one on my shoulder when you need one, So anyways, guys, like and subscribe. If you guys like what I do, please leave a comment if you have any input about any of these fighters, and I'll be breaking down the next one next week. We got UFC 267, Blachowicz versus Teixeira, an amazing fight here. We got a championship fight here at light heavyweight. And really interesting because will Costa maybe make a run for that 205 belt? I highly doubt it from what he said, but now the fact that we got this next fight coming up, Blachowicz versus Teixeira here at UFC 267, this is about a week away. I'm really excited for this one. Will the winner of this fight consider fighting Costa, or maybe calling him out if there's no fighters up for contention? Who knows? Just some putting my 2 cents in there. But most likely we're going to have Costa stay at 185. And in the meantime, guys, catch me on the next breakdown, UFC 267, Blachowicz versus Teixeira. I'll catch you guys next week.